Hello students, we are going to continue with fourth unit with next topic, that is data models. You must know about data models. Data models define how the logical structure of a database is modeled. Data models are fundamental entities to introduce abstraction in a DBMS. Data models define how data is connected to each other and how they are processed and stored inside the system. The very first data model could be the flat data models, where all the data used are to be kept in same plane. Earlier data models were not so scientific, hence they were prone to introduce lots of duplication and update anomalies. Next, moving to the data model basic building blocks. First basic building block of data model is entity. You must know about the entity as we have discussed this in previous video. An entity is anything about which data are to be collected and stored. Attributes are a characteristic of an entity. Relationship describes an association among entities. There are three types of relationships. First is one-to-many relationship, second is many-to-many relationship, and third is one-to-one relationship. There are some constraints in data models. Constraints explain a restriction placed on the data. Moving to the evolution of data models, there are three basic types of data models. First is hierarchical, second is network, and third is relational. Now moving to the hierarchical data model, it was developed in 1960s to manage large amounts of data for complex manufacturing projects. Basic logical structure is represented by an upside down tree. Hierarchical databases were predominantly used for transaction processing, where the volume of transactions is large and the transaction operations change little over time. For example, the hierarchical data model was particularly popular with banks because the way in which banks process savings transaction seldom varies. The hierarchical structure contains levels or segments, which depicts a set of one-to-many relationships between a parent and its child segment. Each parent can have many children. Each child has only one parent. Moving to the advantages of hierarchical data model. First advantage provided by hierarchical data model is many of the hierarchical data models features formed the foundation for current data models. Secondly, its database application advantages are replicated in a different form in current database environments. Third, it has generated a large installed base, created a pool of programmers who developed numerous tried and true business applications. Along with advantages, there are some disadvantages of hierarchical data models that are it is complex to implement, it is difficult to manage, it lacks structural independence, it has implementation limitations, and it lacks standards. Moving to the next data model, that is network model. A network model is a database model that is designed as a flexible approach to representing objects and their relationships. A unique feature of the network model is its schema, which is viewed as a graph where relationship types are arcs and objects types are nodes. Now, knowing about schema and subschema. Now, what is a schema? The description of a database is called the database schema, which is specified during database design and is not expected to change frequently. Now, what is a subschema? A subschema is a subset of the schema and inherits the same properties that a schema has. The plan for a view is often called subschema. Moving to the advantages of network model, it provides many benefits like it is simple concept. Similar to the hierarchical model, this model is simple and the implementation is effortless. Second advantage is ability to manage more relationship types. The network model has the ability to manage one to one as well as many to many relationships. It is easy to access the data in network model. Accessing the data is simpler when compared to the hierarchical model. Next advantage of network model is data integrity. In a network model, there's always a connection between a parent and child segments because it depends on parent child relationship. Last advantage provided by network model is data independence. The data independence is better in network model as opposed to the hierarchical models. There are some drawbacks of network model which includes system complexity. Each and every record has to be maintained with help of pointers which makes the database structure more complex. Second disadvantage is functional flaws. Because a great number of pointer is essential, insertion, updates and deletion becomes more complex. Thirdly, lack of structural independence. A change in structural demand a change in application as well, which leads to lack of structural independence. Now moving to the last model, that is relational model. It was developed by COD, that is from IBM in 1970s. This model is conceptually simple. Computers lacked power to implement the relational model. Today, microcomputers can run sophisticated relational database software. Relational data model is the primary data model which is used widely around the world for data storage and processing. This model is simple and it has all the properties and capabilities required to process data with storage efficiency. There are some concepts which we need to know when we are learning relational models. We already have discussed these concepts, that is tables, tuples, relation instance, attribute domains, relation schema, relation keys, domain, degree, cardinality and number of keys. Now moving to the last topic of relational model, that is integrity rules. There are two basic integrity rules. First is entity integrity and second is referential integrity. Talking about entity integrity, each entity occurrence must have a unique non-null key. Referential integrity, it ensures that foreign keys reference existing primary keys. Foreign key values may be null. Each major in the student relation must have a corresponding entry in the advisor relation. I hope you understand all about data models. Thank you.